Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulonding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
It's a warm reception to our studio here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Maimuna Fadera. In the headlines tonight, fast recovery of Gambia's economy expected in 2021 Central Bank Monetary Policy Project. Gash donates 1,000 bags of cement to Sanyang community. Women Charity celebrates its first year anniversary. Star GSM donates to Bakau Health Center. On the international scene, South Korea orders new restrictions as COVID-19 spike continues. Maduro's party poised to win Venezuela parliamentary elections. Cameroon holds first regional election amid opposition boycott. Well, those were the headlines, and now the news in details. The Gambia Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee has on Thursday projected a quick economic recovery in 2021 caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The committee made this revelation during its quarterly review of economic and financial developments to take appropriate policy decisions. Maria Madam has more on the story.
The Monetary Policy Committee was formed in July 2004 as the apex monetary policy decision-making body of the bank. The maiden meeting of the committee was held on July 2004. The committee was formally established by the revised Central Bank of the Gambia Act in 2005 and also revised in 2018 again. And under the Central Bank of the Gambia Act 2018, the committee shall communicate the results of its deliberation to the public immediately after every meeting. The governor of the Central Bank and also a member of the Monetary Policy Committee, Buha Seidi, says the Gambia's economy is weak due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but a quick recovery of the economy is expected in 2021.
Economic activity in the Gambia remains weak, reflecting the effect of the pandemic, but a quicker recovery is anticipated in 2021 than projected in the last MPC meeting. The forecast for 2021 is predicated on rebound in agriculture, strong fiscal and monetary policy support, continued strong performance in the construction sector, and partial recovery in tourism. The bank's composite index of economic activity, which is a high-frequency measure of the level of activity in the economy, shows that output contracted in the first 3 quarters of 2020, and this is expected to remain for the remainder of the year. In addition, the crisis has slowed the rapid expansion in private sector credit. However, fiscal and monetary policy response to the pandemic have mitigated the impact of the crisis on the economy.
Governor Seidi stressed that the current account balance worsened in the 3 quarters of 2020 due largely to the unprecedented increase in the implementation of health-related materials. And the level of gross international reserves is at a comfortable level, and the rate of fallacy continues to be stable, supported by the large private remittances and official transfers as the inflation in the Gambia continues to be stable.
Inflation in the Gambia continues to be stable, The recent surge in inflation is judged to be temporal and will return to close to the medium-term objective of 5% in the near term. The outlook is predicated on the stable exchange rate, moderate global inflation, increase in local food production, and the implementation of prudent monetary policy. However, the major risk to inflation continues to be the recent surge in global food prices.
Mr. Seydi further highlights the decision of the committee's policy consideration.
The committee has decided the following: maintain the policy rate at 10%, maintain the required reserve of commercial banks at 13%, and maintain the interest rate on the standing deposit facility at 2.5% and the standing lending facility at 11%. That is the monetary policy rate plus 1 percentage points above.
The next Monetary Policy Committee meeting is scheduled on February 24, 2021, that will be followed by the announcement of the policy decision. Maria Madem, reporting for Star TV News.
Gash Global Company Limited has on Saturday donated 1,000 bags of cement to the Sanyang community in response to their request. The story by Maria Madem is narrated by Awasani.
The donation came as a result of a request from the Village Development Committee to construct a new garage in Sanyang beside the market. Gash Global CEO Abubakar Jawara, who has been rendering support to the Sanyang community, as it was a pleasure to provide cement to the people of Sanyang, as it's part of his social responsibility to give back to the community, considering the fact that he has a mining company in Sanyang.
I'm very, very happy to be here today because this is social responsibility, which I'm doing some of part of my social responsibility today in Sanyang village. And then as you know that we have company here operating in Sanyang, is mining companies, Gash mining companies, belong to Gambians, and we have to understand that no matter how agreement we have with government, but community is first. The community, everything's belong to community after government. So no matter how is it, we have to contribute our part, no matter how it's small or how it's big. So it's very, very important, the development of this community. All companies operating in Sanyang to think about it and help them. So, to contribute, because Sanyang is very important in Gambia, especially in Great Banjul areas. All this construction you see, sands coming from Sanyang. So this black sand also, since 1926, the operation started in Gambia. We are the first Gambian company who took over in 2 years ago. So, but according to Sanyang communities, they are very happy about us, no matter small things we bring with them. They say they never get this kind of appreciation from any company ever operates here in Gambia. So that's why to be Gambians, it doesn't matter. You cannot do your own responsibility. Any foreign company can do, we can do also. Our government have to empower us and support us to forget about that philosophy. The Gambian you cannot do. The Lebanese and Indians or Chinese or Europeans, all they can do. No, we can do it. If we support each other, we can do it. So Alhamdulillah, today we donate 1,000 bags of cement to development of the garage. This is initially.
Yusufa Jassi, Secretary General of the Sanyang Village Development Committee, in appreciation for the timely support, said the 1,000 bags of cement will go on a long way towards helping them in constructing their new garage. He thanked Gash for the donation as he reflected on the uncountable support Gash has rendered them in the past.
Yeah, for Mr. Jawara, it's a great honor. We are here to sense our sincere gratitude and appreciation because it could be recalled that since 1926 there were mining taking place in Sanyang, but we could not remember when we received any support from mining company. But when Abu Bakar came to Sanyang, we started realizing support. This is not the only support that he's giving us. We've received support from, he's giving support at the school in form of borehole, and also he supported us at the Grand Mosque. So also during the COVID-19, he also supported the deprived, excluded and vulnerable families within the community in form of rice and other support financially. So we're really grateful, and then we send gratitude and appreciation. May Allah bless him, continue supporting the entire other communities that are also in need of it. Thank you.
Lamin Kante, representative of Geology Department, also noted that it is part of Jawara's social responsibilities to give back to the community of Sanyang, as he has a mining site there.
We tax him to do his social corporate responsibility for Sanyang. And also department also facilitate this raw material through social corporate responsibilities. We give about 1,040 cubic meter of gravel. We also give 100 cubic meter of stone, and also we facilitate 240 cubic meter of sand, construction sand, for this project.
The Alcalo and women of Sanyang appreciated the support and thanked Gash for always coming to their aid whenever the need arises. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Awasane.
The Women Charity Society under Sumpodu Hati Association on Sunday commemorated its first year anniversary in Kanifim, Imam Malik School. Hadijaju reports.
Haja Nyuma Tunkara, the president of the Women's Charity under Sumpodu Hati Association, said the project started last November. A group of women came together and developed a project to help the needy people. She added that every lady in their society, being a Sarahule, Mandinka or Wolof, each individual contributes $25 every month, which includes their sisters in the diaspora, who join and help them to raise some money for the organization. She furthered that about $1.5 million is in their account, which they use to help the needy people. Haja Tunkara buttressed on their achievements, saying that they have drilled about 3 boreholes for the needy people, help the orphans for their school fees, provide for the mortuaries in Banjul, and many more. She further urged women in the Gambia to join their organization.
Yeah, we are welcoming everybody. It's not like we are just Sarahules to form an association. It's not tribalism. We all invite all the Gambian ladies and men to come and help the Gambian sisters, because we are helping, we are not discriminating anyone. We help the Wolof people, we help the Mandinka people, we help needy people, the people that need it.
Are you facing some kind of difficulties in your organization?
Yeah, we are kind of having a little difficulty. If someone can help us to have a car, transportation is our difficulties. If at all we have that one, and people should come and contribute and help our association, because all our goals is to help the needy people. That's all I have to say.
Malamin Jagana, a Quranic teacher at Imam Malik School, added that they were there to remind their people that this kind of society is very significant as it empowers women, but Islamically.
You know, it's women, they can play big role to support Islam. So men cannot do everything, because we are engaged in our business, we are engaged in many fields, but for women, they get time to support the others. This kind of society, they support the orphans, poor people, needy ones, they build the mosques, and also they support the orphan to continue their education. What kind, to read the Quran, to complete their school, whether it is English school or Arabic school.
Abu Bakar Mohamed Lo, president of Ummah Quran Foundation, thanked the association for helping the needy in the society. For Star TV News, I am Hadijaju.
Star GSM has donated sanitary materials to the Bakau Health Center. The materials include detergents, brooms, and soaps. Our Sani has more.
Cleanliness is next to health. One needs to live in a clean environment in order to have a good health condition. And the hospital is not an exception. The management and staff of Star GSM have reached out to the health center of Bakau to provide them with professional cleaning materials. Receiving the materials on behalf of the health center, Aissatou Jallo, deputy officer, said the materials will help them greatly in their field of work. She said the cleaning tools they have in their workplace were not sufficient, and it is a must for them to keep their environment clean. She added that in order for them to cure people, they need to be in a clean and safe environment. Omar Dabo said they are extremely happy to have received the donated items. He said the cleaning materials were a big challenge for the hospital. He called on other philanthropists to follow the footsteps of Star GSM. Lamin Kaba, proprietor of Star GSM, said he received information that the hospital had difficulties in cleaning materials. He said they even used their hand sometimes to clean, which made him so emotional. Kaba said a place that is used to cure people should be in a clean and conducive state. He promised that it would not be the last time to accord such a gesture. He said government cannot do it alone, and they need people to help them. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Awasane.
Well, those were the local stories. We'll be back with the international news after the short commercial break. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Welcome back. After that short commercial break, we now look at the news beyond our borders. South Korea has reported its 30th day in a row of triple-digit increases as fear grows. The viral spread is getting out of control in the greater Seoul area. What worries the authorities is that this third wave is more widespread than previous surges, and unless the numbers are curbed, hospital resources could become stretched. Officials have scrambled to restore restrictions in the capital to include tighter controls on restaurants, indoors gatherings, sporting events, and intercity trains and buses. Al Jazeera's Rob Mike Brett reports from Seoul, South Korea.
This is the third time restrictions have been increased in the past month, and it comes as the number of daily infections has continued to rise. What worries the authorities is that this third wave is far more widespread than previous surges, and unless the numbers are curbed, hospital resources could become stretched.
There is no center of this wave for us to focus our prevention measures. This could result in a much larger spread. If the medical system reaches its limit, it will cause great damage to all of us.
There will be tighter controls on restaurants and indoor gatherings. No spectators at sporting events. 50% occupancy on intercity trains and buses. And private companies are urged to get a third of their staff working remotely from home. The measures introduced during this third wave have resulted in a 20% drop in the amount that people are travelling and mingling, just as it did in the second wave over the summer. But there hasn't been a corresponding drop in the number of new infections. That's led to further concerns that people have been finding ways around these tighter restrictions, and that in a country known for its high level of public compliance, even here, pandemic fatigue may be setting in. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Seoul.
Venezuelans are voting in legislative polls for the National Assembly, but opposition members have boycotted the elections. The National Assembly is the only official body which the opposition controls. Their refusal to contest ensures that President Nicolas Maduro is set to take over the government branch. Analysts say the likely result is Maduro further strengthening his grip on power. Al Jazeera's Lucy Newman reports.
It wasn't necessary to wait for the official election results to be announced to know the outcome, as a jubilant President Nicolás Maduro made amply clear.
We had the patience, the wisdom to wait for this hour, to wait for this day, to get rid of that nefarious National Assembly that the opposition used to bring the plague of sanctions onto Venezuela. Now with this vote, we will have justice.
Venezuela's mainstream opposition boycotted the Legislative Assembly poll, which they say lacked the minimum conditions of a fair and free election. The pro-government Supreme Court had taken over 3 of the 4 principal opposition parties, appointing new leaders who are accused of being pawns of Maduro. In addition, the court appointed a new electoral council, also loyal to the government. And there were no independent observers, only staunch supporters like former Bolivian President Evo Morales. Despite threats to withhold subsidized food boxes to those who didn't vote, the turnout was poor.
In this voting center in the Makuto district, there is normally a lot of people when there's an election. Today, what you have is a fraud in our country, which has been clearly rejected.
Maduro's foreign allies like Russia, China and Iran will likely applaud the elections, which could give their commercial agreements with Venezuela a stronger legal framework with which to circumvent US and European sanctions. But the United States, the EU and many Latin American countries say they won't recognize the new parliament. Maduro plans to ask the new assembly to appoint a special commission to try enemies of the state, especially opposition leader Juan Guaidó. But that could bring on more international reprisals.
I think it would be better for Maduro to leave Guaidó alone and play cat and mouse with him. Grab him by the tail and let him go. What will the world see? An opposition leader who once had 61% support and now has half of that and is losing more by the day.
Guaidó has been recognized as Venezuela's interim president by more than 50 countries, but his legitimacy has rested on being the elected leader of the National Assembly. Come January, when the new legislature is sworn in, the opposition will lose the only state institution it controlled, destroying what critics regard as the last remnant of democracy in Venezuela. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera.
Phil Gunson is the senior analyst for the Andes region at the International Crisis Group. He says after this vote, Venezuela's opposition will need a new strategy to convince voters.
Guaidó and the opposition leadership have said that they will continue to be the legitimate National Assembly because they don't recognize this election either. And they expect governments to continue to recognize Guaidó as the president. I think that recognition is likely to dwindle over time because, of course, politics is about power. And the power in this country is held by Maduro, not by Guaidó, who doesn't even have the keys to his own office. I think it's going to be a question of the opposition going back to the drawing board, really, and devising a new strategy. I think we have to start by recognizing that most people in Venezuela are concerned about putting food on the table and issues like the pandemic. They're not convinced the government or Guaidó and his so-called interim government really have much to say about the conditions that they face, which are conditions of extreme poverty, conditions of raging epidemics, not just COVID-19, a collapsing health service, collapsing infrastructure all around. And so that there's very little interest in this election, and there's going to be little interest, I think, within Venezuela for the referendum too. Because in the case of this referendum, there will be the possibility of people voting remotely via internet from abroad, where about 5 million Venezuelans are currently living in exile.
Cameroon is holding its first ever regional election, which the government says hands more power to the province, but the opposition boycotts as a sham. In Sunday's indirect polls, a 24,000-strong electoral college made up of regional delegates and traditional chiefs will vote to fill the post of 900 regional councillors, 90 for each of the country's 10 regions, putting into action a 1996 law that promised a decentralized government but was never enacted. Al Jazeera's Nicholas Haig reports.
Downtown Bamenda, the capital of Cameroon's English-speaking region. It was supposed to be a day of voting for greater autonomy. Instead, it's another day of protest. Separatists in the northwestern region have threatened those taking part in the vote, calling on people to stay indoors and not take part in what they describe as a sham regional election. For them, Cameroon's English-speaking region is a country they call Ambazonia, fighting for independence against a central French-speaking state that not only oppresses their right to use the English language, but profits from their region's natural resources rich in precious minerals. But for ruling party municipal councillors voting for these new regional assemblies in the political capital Yaoundé, this is an opportunity to have greater local autonomy. Each of the country's 10 provinces will have a regional assembly made up of both traditional leaders and elected officials who will have a say on provincial affairs.
We want actual step toward decentralization of power so that we can see changes in areas of health, education and local policies.
For the last 38 years, incumbent President Paul Biya has tightened his grip on power, giving little room for autonomy for the country's 250 ethnic groups and languages. The regional elections were meant to take place 24 years ago, following constitutional changes to address Cameroon's diversity. But faced with a growing regional crisis, both in the far north and in the English-speaking regions, where more than 1 million people have been displaced and an estimated 3,000 killed, he agreed to these elections. Many in Cameroon feel this is too little, too late.
So many times the government has proposed to do something, but they have done nothing.
Most people don't know what these elections are about. They should explain to us what it's all about.
Many view the new regional body as an added level of bureaucracy to a centralized government controlled by the president. With the opposition boycotting the vote, the ruling party is set to win all the seats, giving even more power to Paul Biya's government in Yaoundé and even more control over Cameroon's restive regions. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera.
Well, before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. Fast recovery of Gambia's economy expected in 2021 Central Bank Monetary Policy Project. Gash donates 1,000 bags of cement to Sanyang community. Women Charity celebrates its first year anniversary. Star GSM donates to Bakau Health Center. On the international scene, South Korea orders new restrictions as COVID-19 spike continues. Maduro's party poised to win Venezuela parliamentary elections. Cameroon holds first regional election amid opposition boycott. That's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of our wonderful programs. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for your time.